guest just mentioned how difficult it was to understand what Kamala Harris's policy was. Yeah. Well, along those lines, here she goes trying to address flip-flops on the border wall. Watch.
Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything.
But you do want to build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
So much to respond to. Trump 2024 campaign senior advisor Danielle Alvarez joins me now. Danielle, what is the campaign's response to that inartful flip-flop right there?
You know, in order to fix the problem, voters have to fire Kamala Harris in November. Yesterday, she had an interview with Telemundo, that CNN town hall. She just looked tired. She looked run down. She really looks like she needs to take a break. And that's certainly what the American people want. That open border with millions of illegal immigrants pouring in, millions of fentanyl pouring in. Over 300,000 missing children is squarely borders are Kamala Harris's responsibility. And let's not forget to mention record inflation, our poor economy, and the chaos that we are seeing at home and abroad. And the reality is that last night on CNN, she spent more time giving non-answers. She spent more time focused on Donald Trump than the issues that she is responsible, her weakness, her failure, her liberal agenda is responsible for over the last 4 years.
To be clear, before we move on, do you think that Kamala Harris, at the end of the day, ultimately wants to build a border wall, or is that just more pandering?
She absolutely does not. She does not want a secure border. Look at the 4 years of her track record, where they eliminated and signed executive orders to undo everything President had accomplished in order to secure our southern border. She absolutely does not. Just look at her track record. Right now, she is willing to say anything to hold on to power, but the American people will not fall for it.
Here's more from Kamala last night. Listen.
I mean, I've made many mistakes. And they range from, you know, if you've ever parented a child, you know you make lots of mistakes, too. In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well-versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well-versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
Look, that answer was clearly an affront to fluidity. I'll allow you to attack that if you'd like, but there's also a question in there. What issue is she well-versed on, Danielle?
There's absolutely no issue she's well-versed on. We just saw for over an hour on CNN, Kamala Harris refuse to answer a single question. And you know what? I will answer it for her much more succinctly. Her weaknesses are on the economy. Again, record inflation, tie-breaking votes that sent us skyrocketing into inflation because of ridiculous spending of the Harris-Biden administration. An open border, fentanyl pouring in, missing children, war between Russia and Ukraine, and attack on Israel, a failed Afghanistan withdrawal. The American people know that Kamala Harris has weakness after weakness. She does not deserve the promotion that she is asking for, and only President Donald Trump can fix the 4 years of devastation that Kamala Harris has caused.
You know, over the weekend, the Democrats took a moment away from their Trump is Hitler narrative to say, you know, Trump is struggling mentally and he's tired. But after 48, 72 hours of that not working, they're back to Hitler. They say he wants unchecked power. Listen.
And we know that a second Trump term would mean unchecked power with no guardrails to hold him back. That's just.
But this is somebody who wants unchecked power. We do not need to see what an older, loonier Donald Trump looks like with no guardrails. America's ready to turn the page.
So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power.
All of this on the heels of that hit piece out of The Atlantic. So, Danielle, how does the Trump campaign counter what appears to be the Democrats and Kamala Harris's closing arguments these final 12 days?
Kamala Harris is focused on Donald Trump, and President Donald J. Trump is focused on the American people. You have seen it not only in his 4 years in the White House, where we had a humming economy, where we had unleashed American energy, unleashed the American worker, but you've seen him talk about the issues that matter most to voters. And again, voters have told us that that's inflation. Voters have told us that that's the economy. Voters have told us that that's securing our southern border. And Donald Trump is focused on those issues in the last 2 weeks of this campaign cycle. And again, Americans know that President Donald Trump is the only one that can restore America to greatness. Our closing argument is so different than theirs. They are throwing everything they can at the wall to see what sticks because Kamala Harris is floundering and she has absolutely an abysmal record to run on, and she cannot contrast President Donald Trump, who had our country, it was so successful.
Sure.
Americans were thriving in his economy, and that is what our campaign is focused on, and President Donald Trump is focused on as we head towards November.
Danielle Alvarez, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.